Welcome back. This is the third video in the series about getting unstuck. In the last video, we looked at procrastination as a trade. Feel better now, pay more later, as well as the task beneath the task. Today is for the moment that comes after that. So you've decided to face the thing, you sit down to start, and you feel your chest going tight because all of it arrives at once. The finance stuff, the work stuff, the personal health stuff, the children, the school stuff. I mean, the list can go on and on. In this video, I'll try and give you three things. One, I'll show you why things can feel so big, and you'll see it's not because they are big. Two, I'll give you a perspective so you can actually take action. And three, I'll give you a way to choose that action in, let's say, 2 minutes, and a way to make starting almost automatic. So let's start with this idea, driving at night. Have you ever driven on a long road at night? Your headlights show you maybe like 60 meters. That's it. 60 meters of road and then darkness. And yet you are able to drive all the way to your destination. You can drive like that for hundreds of kilometers through the dark, seeing only the next 60 meters of road. You never see the destination from your driver's seat, not once. Yet you still arrive. Let's apply that to the thing that overwhelms you. When you feel overwhelmed, you're trying to make the entire journey appear in your headlights at once. Every step, every problem, everything that could go wrong, all of it lit up. And then you think you will be willing to pull out of the driveway to get started. So no wonder we can't start. Nobody can drive like that. Okay, keep that headlight thing in mind. We're coming back to it later. So this brings me to why everything feels too much. What overwhelm actually is it's not the size of the task. It's not the length of the to-do list. It's that every task you touch loads into your consciousness. But because you don't complete anything, it becomes a long list of incompleteness. Every incomplete task remains half loaded in your consciousness. Each open item runs an engine in the background, nagging you in the shower, waking you up at night, interrupting your thoughts when you're trying to do something else. That nagging is there by default. It's your mind trying to make sure nothing gets dropped. It's working as designed. Nothing's wrong with that. Congratulations, you're a human. That's the way we are designed. So if you load tasks into your consciousness, your mind will keep nagging you to complete them. But our minds, it's built to carry a few things, but now it's carrying 30 things. And when you think about your big thing, maybe a business, the house, a degree you want to complete, your health, you don't think about one piece of it. You are trying to lift all of it every time just by thinking of it. That's the weight you feel. That's the heaviness. That's the overwhelm. Not the task, the whole bundle of tasks. Let me make that concrete. Let's say your big thing is the business you want to start. Now, watch what happens when you actually sit down to work on it. A thought about the website brings a thought about the pricing, which brings a thought about tax, which brings a thought about what your brother-in-law will say, that bastard, whoever that is in your life that you will think of in that moment. It leads to one thing, to one thing, to one thing, to another thing, etc. You probably don't notice it, but your body language will start to change in subtle ways. Your breathing goes a little shallow, your jaw sets, and within 90 seconds, you're tired before you've done anything at all. You didn't do any work. You just lifted the whole thing again, the whole bundle of tasks, and lifting it is exhausting. Ask any buffed gym guy. But there's a kind of gentler way to approach this, to see this feeling of overwhelm. Overwhelm is not your mind failing, like we just discussed. It's your mind protecting you from taking on more than it believes that you can carry, more than it knows that you can carry. And it deserves a thank you, not resistance, not a fight, not shaming it. And then it deserves a smaller load. So the problem was never that you're lazy or disorganized or anything like that. The problem is that you keep trying to lift the whole thing, see the whole journey, when the only part you can actually do is that next piece, that next 60 meters. Now let's make it a little bit more practical. There's the whole thing, and there's the visible next move. The whole thing is the business. The next visible move is emailing one person who has done it before. The whole thing is the chaotic house. The next visible move is clearing one drawer. The whole thing is getting healthy. The next visible move is putting your walking shoes by the door tonight. Notice what makes a move visible. It's small, it's concrete. Your hands know what to do with it. You can take action. So compare the two ways of saying it. Sort out my life is not a move. Neither is getting on top of the admin or fix my health or work on the business. Those are directions. You can't do a direction. Open the folder, read one bank statement, send one message, walk to the corner and back. Those are moves. You can actually do that. That's your next 60 meters in the headlights. Say your house has slipped past the point where you can face it. Every room feels like it's accusing you. And walking through your own front door makes your chest tight. In my experience, this is especially relevant for moms with small children who can very quickly take over a space. So don't make a plan for the house. Choose one drawer, the cutlery drawer, because you open it every morning anyway. That drawer takes about 10 minutes to sort out. And tomorrow morning, opening it will feel very different once you sorted it out. One small corner of your home is now on your side. It's no longer accusing you and going on the list. The house doesn't change. Your relationship with starting does. So here's the test that you can actually do. Could you start it within 2 minutes of deciding? And that's how you know this thing is small enough. If not, it's still too big. Slice it in half again, until you feel like a physical release. Your shoulders might drop. That sensation in your body is signaling that the move is finally the right size. Because usually we think it's nothing. So you don't need the entire plan. You just need 60 meters of road. So let's talk about the deciding once principle. Why do you still not start, even when the move is small enough? Because we leave the decision for the moment itself. You tell yourself you'll get to it tomorrow. And tomorrow, at some undecided point, you're supposed to interrupt whatever you're doing, feel the resistance at full volume, and choose the hard thing anyway. Get started anyway, because getting started usually is the hardest part. But that's not a plan. That's a negotiation with yourself that you've now scheduled for the exact moment you are at your weakest. So what we do is we move the decision. You decide once in advance, and you tie that decision, the move, to a moment that already exists in your day. I also like to call this piggybacking. So you piggyback on something that's already going on in your life. So when you pour your first coffee tomorrow, you open the document. When I get in the car after work, I make one phone call. When the kids are in bed, I clear one drawer. Just feel the difference. When the moment arrives, there's nothing to decide. The decision was made already by a calmer version of you. You're just keeping an appointment now. I use this exact system myself. This is why you are watching a YouTube video that I made, 60 meters of road at a time. I promise you, believe me, otherwise this video would not exist. Just the 60 meters of road. So one more thing happens once you start, and it makes a massive difference. An unstarted task weighs you down, or actually pulls you back. But a started task, that pulls you forward. Once again, like these videos. The same background engine that nagged you before now starts working for you. Beginner thing, even for 5 minutes, and your mind wants to go back and continue it. You don't need to push the whole way. You need to start that pull, create that pull, that momentum, like siphoning water through a hosepipe. Same thing. So in the next video, we'll look at the decisions themselves. How do you make a choice when you can't be absolutely certain is the right one, like that? But now let me try and get even more practical with your next 60 meters. For this week, here's your work. Step 1, name the thing that feels too much. One line on paper, just write it down. Step 2, ask yourself, what's the next visible move? Make it smaller until it passes that 2-minute test. Can I start it in 2 minutes? The right size is when it feels smaller than you think would be useful. That's the right size, where you maybe feel like this is not going to help at all. Step 3, decide once. Write the sentence, when this moment happens, fill in the blank, I will take this move. Tie it to a moment in your day that already exists, something you do already every day, and say it out loud. When this moment comes, I will do this. Step 4, when the moment comes, don't start the negotiations again. Don't reopen the negotiation. Take the move. And when you're allowed, or when you take the move, once you've done the move, then you can stop. Stopping is fine. The pull of your mind nagging you will bring you back. I've also made a headlight system card for you that you can use. It's in the links below. If this video helped you see your overwhelm differently, please subscribe and join me for the rest of the series. I'll see you in the next one.